Hi, I'm Andrew James Barker, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to play some guitar songs I wrote for my Gunslinger album and my Low Moon album, and this is Campfire Chords. This is a song called Night Terrors. I guess I could talk a little bit about it from a lyrical standpoint and also from a musical standpoint. I'll start with the lyrical thing. In preparation for this, I'd kind of forgotten. I knew it was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, and there was a line also inspired by Stephen King. So two, great kind of horror. And this is a horror song, really. Like it's if there was such a genre as a horror song, Night Terrors would be up there. It's inspired by the book is called the short story is called The Moon Bog, about a guy who gets kind of possessed by the idea of draining his bog on his property against the warnings of the village people, because there's some sort of evil presence or spirit there, and if he drains the bog, and it sort of gets in his head, like whatever the spirit is that's making him drain the bog is like taking control of him, and he's obsessed. And so that's the lyrics. The will-o'-the-wisp draws me across hell's half acres, and those kind of references about being pulled out in the night into the bog, I guess you could say. The bulrushes and references to that. The first line, "Lift the call that veils my eyes," is from Stephen King, The Shining. Danny, when he's born, is born with a caul over his eyes, which in ancient days people would say it means you're going to have second sight. Yeah, so this guitar, there's a great guitar builder in Toronto named Alistair Miller, and I really wanted to have him build me a Telecaster, but didn't work out. Didn't have the cash to put together at the time, so I was kind of out. Didn't know if I wanted how I was going to get a Tele, and divine providence it fell into my lap. I'm left-handed, so it's hard to find guitars sometimes. And a friend of mine, my coworker, his girlfriend's father is also left-handed, had this 2000, you can see it, 2000 American Tele, great shape, had it in his case sitting there, not played for 10 years or something, so gave it to me for a really good price, and took the rest of the money and souped it up. So I got some Lawler. I got the Lawler BS here in the bridge, and this bridge plate is a replacement as well. The saddles, and then got this guy here. This is the Charlie Christian, which I like just for a little bit darker of a tone. Actually sounds really good when you beef it up with some fuzz or some distortion. Works quite well. A lot of the time in live settings, I split them just to negate the hum. When I'm in a room happy with the way things are sounding, I like to go with the darker sound. And that's it. And I just changed the pick guard on it. I think it looks pretty sexy. Plays good, sounds good. It's in C sharp minor, predominantly, and C sharp minor 7 kind of thing. And I think what I was thinking was having a sort of descending cliche, and just sort of staying static around C sharp minor, but using borrowing from the melodic minor tonality. So you get, it's got a flat 7, so it would be actually rooted from A, I think, melodic minor at some point anyways. So that sort of sequence is just really the one chord, a bunch of shit in the middle, and then resolving back to the 5 chord, which will take us back to the 1. I mean, it's a weird 5 chord because it's augmented. So you could think about it. It's very strange because it's like an A flat 7 chord with a sharp 5, but I play the A as the bass. And then if you're going to extrapolate that, it would be almost like I'm playing a D9 chord with the 5th in the bass. So it's just like 2 steps removed from the 5 chord. This sort of slash chord bass note. It still functions the same way though. Still resolves. So there's that kind of thing. That chord, it doesn't really have a name. It's sort of like an avoid chord, having that. It's only 3 notes. It sounds like a A6 chord. It's got a major 7, so maybe like an A13. But what I'm really thinking of is that it's just that kind of E7 or E chord with the 4th in the bass. This all makes sense when you put it into context with the melody, because you have this, which is really just the essence of what the melody is, and there's all this motion going on in the bass line. Sort of the bass line. So the melody. Lift the call that veils my eyes. So, which is sort of mirroring the. So it's all lining up really. Lift the call that veils my eyes. False gods unnecessary lies. Now this will take us into the 4 chord, F sharp minor. So from this chord to the G7, which helps, it takes you into the 4, the minor chord. So it just keeps going. It just keeps getting crazier. So we have that kind of motion, which is just a nice kind of chromatic thing. You get all these sort of guide tones, you know, what is it? And that's in there. So there's these simple things. What it is it's a D major 7 chord to a C sharp minor to a C major 7 to a B minor 7. So it's symmetrical. Which is, you know, now it's like we're kind of moving in fourths. We've gone from C sharp minor to F sharp minor, and now we're kind of doing a cycle that's landing us on B minor. So that's happening. Where are we at? It's true as delicate, well, as a spider's thread, the will-o'-the-wisp draws me across the hell's half acres. Night terrors. So we've moved all around quite a bit again. It's the F sharp minor, which kind of go, and then goes to D minor 7, which is almost like putting in the flat 5, and then that takes us to F. I just really like that sound, and then I guess it's sort of, yeah, it's just a juicy sound. I get the melody has that sharp 11 in it. So where's that? Draws me across. So that's the guide tone of the melody. Draws me across hell's half acres. Spooky, horror kind of sound. Even though it's a major chord, it's got a real dark thing happening. And then we're finally going to get back to the end of the cycle. I do this riff here. That's what I was talking about at the beginning, sort of being in, when we first started, I was referencing melodic minor, and that's all derived from the, I guess you'd say it's like an A melodic minor, or almost like an A flat altered sound. You get that? that resolves nicely to F sharp minor, so that we can start all over again back into another verse. That's that sort of sequence, and that's the lion's share of the song. There's a sort of a nice little coda finger style thing that happens at the end. I can just show it if you want. Yeah. So I could do it with a pick. I play like sort of hybrid thing with a pick and with my fingers, whatever I'm feeling like. Probably live, I'd probably use a pick more so that I could cut through in the mix. This is a finger style, a nice pretty thing, some juicy chords. I'd say this is almost like a condensation of condensing of what happened in the first section. It's just without all the sort of extra stuff around. Really, it's just the bass chords. You have the one chord, C sharp minor 9 with so I play the 9, and then that allows me to play the third against it with the open E string. It's pretty sound, and I keep that kind of 1/5 bass line going, and I can keep the same kind of drony notes on top for this F sharp minor. Minor 11 chord, so basically just a root inversion, 1, 3, 5, the 11, and then the flat 7 on top. And then there's nothing like just a simple triad when it's necessary. Just a big E chord, right? Don't want all these juicy chords, but sometimes if you play something fancy, it doesn't sound right. And then we go up to that F chord, which is happens, the F Lydian thing. So F Lydian for you guys is just basically a major chord, and instead of being able to play that sort of sus kind of tonality, you sharpen the 4. So what that does is it's much more angular of a sound. But now you can play the third and the fourth together and not have them conflict with each other as much because they're a tone away from each other. And I just cycle that sort of on my way out. Play it one more time. Is the 9 and then the 6. It's like a Spanish kind of thing people probably recognize. So yeah. Call that fills my eyes, false gods unnecessary lies. draws me across hell's half acres. The night terrors in the twilight of dusk, the maze pulled from its husk, and a feast of souls for the sunset gold. As true as delicate, as a spider's thread, the will-o'-the-wisp draws me across the hell's half acres. Night terrors, night terrors, whoa. I talk in my sleep, I walk in my sleep, and the will-o'-the-wisp draws me across the hell's half acres. I take flight into the night, drawn like a moth's eye towards the moonlight, where the devil takes the hindmost. Night terrors, night terrors, night terrors, night terrors. Night terrors. With the cold that fills my eyes, false gods unnecessary.